Hello, this is CF Tracking, and I am tonight going to, and it is nighttime, this is a sort of an off thing for me, but I am going to break down what I feel are my total issues with the sports watch industry right now. So I've been testing a bunch of different devices and a bunch of different types of devices. I'm breaking now into Amazfit and Huawei and Honor and other sort of elements, devices offered from further away or more distant land and overseas and shores. But I have a primary issue or problem I'm running into that I think needs to be fixed. And I just feel like instead of adding this content to another video, I wanted to share it outright. My primary issue is that there is not the right combination of screen brilliance, battery life, heart rate connectivity, and workout and training analysis. So I have been starting the test. So I just tested the Amazfit T-Rex, which has an AMOLED screen and lasts about 4.5 days with always on. So I just started the test for the Honor Magic Watch 2. I was gonna test the Huawei GT2E, but I realized, it has a fixed band, and it doesn't have voice and speakerphone, and it doesn't have some of those components, and I could get the Honor Magic Watch 2 off Amazon for the same price. So I thought, well, I'm not gonna even get into the GT2E because it's the same thing, just without some of those features. I'm just gonna do this. And so if you see this is an AMOLED screen. An AMOLED screen, I'm somewhat tired of transflective screens or AMOLED screens with 30 seconds of battery life. And I'm gonna break it down for you in this video, my primary components. And I apologize if this just sort of is all over the place, but maybe this is a discussion forum for people that have felt the same. An AMOLED screen is about 10 times brighter than the brightest transflective screens. So you have a bunch of transflective screen manufacturers. So you have Garmin, which does the 245, 945. I don't include 645 in the running because it doesn't have body battery. So 245, 945, and the Fenix 6 series, which all have the primary analytics for high-level workout analysis. All transflective screens. 245 is a fixed screen color, fixed screen brightness. 945 has variation of brightness. Fenix 6 has variation of brightness. Coros has one brightness. The Polar Vantage series, the Grit, one brightness, and some issues with the wrist raised brightness. Suunto, one brightness, except for Suunto can do like a slightly dim always on option for a transflective screen. Those are ranging anywhere from, let's just say on average, all those companies on average 30 lumens. With the Garmin Fenix 6 or 945, you can turn it up. You have some variation. One of the few that actually you can control the brightness other than like the Suunto Baro 9 or the Suunto 9. You can control the brightness, but at the brightest, it's 60 lumens. An AMOLED screen is 600 lumens on average, just in general. And you can vary the brightness on the AMOLED screens for most of the watches I'm testing. And I grew frustrated because, the Fenix 6 series starts at $600, the 945, $600, the 245, $350, and I'm going to break down the Garmin Venu. We're going to talk about that. Apple Watch 5, or $400 or $500, the Samsung Galaxy Watch 3 or the Active 2. This is an AMOLED screen sports tracking watch. Is $125, and it's bright and it's brilliant and it's awesome. The screen is awesome for $125. So I just think, why can't the sports manufacturing universe come up with something that includes high quality screen, meaning AMOLED? And I know that transflective, there's a lot of debate about, runners that can see transflectives better in sunlight, but I use my watch for 23 hours outside of the 1 hour workout. So I really want to have a great screen, battery life, not a day and a half, not 2 days, at least 3 to 4 days, heart rate connectivity to be able to connect to a Bluetooth chest strap, and workout and training analysis. So let's break down the lineup as we see it now. We have the Apple Watch 4 and 5. I don't include the 3 because the 3 didn't have the same heart rate sensor. The 4 and 5 had excellent heart rate sensor, probably some of the best that I've tested, but no workout analysis at the time, and still kind of no sleep analysis. 1.5 day battery life. That's dead on arrival in some ways, because it's not even like, okay, if it was a 15-minute recharge time, maybe 1.5 days would be okay. But you're talking about an hour and a half recharge time for 1.5 days of use, not gonna work. barely has sleep tracking now, sort of quasi built in, just got always on display with the most recent release. So that's not an option for me. The Samsung Galaxy Watch 3 looks awesome. A little bit better looking because it's a little bit more rugged. But first, there was the Active Watch 2. Now, the Active Watch 2 was a little bit better sort of technological components or the sensors than the Apple Watch 1. I didn't test the Apple Watch 1. The Apple Watch 2, or the Active Watch 2, was excellent design as far as sleek and sort of professional. You get about 2 days, but didn't have any workout analytics and no Bluetooth chest strap connectivity. I'm going to stop right there. And you think about all these watches, it is fundamentally important to be able to connect to a Bluetooth chest strap. The only mode of workout that does not come across the wrist is running. And we live in a world where running is just one minor component. You got strength training, high intensity interval training, kayaking, paddleboarding, biking. So many reviews that I've read say that just the jitters of an outdoor biking will disrupt the heart rate sensor. When you're trying to track your workouts and do some base level training and track your fitness, you want to have high quality tracking. That won't cut it. You have to have a Bluetooth chest strap or an Ant Plus chest strap or some sort of chest strap, because the only thing in the world that doesn't affect is maybe just a light running, walking, or hiking. So maybe those things are included, but there's like 50,000 other sports activities that include some sort of wrist flex. And boy, we've tested over and over again that most often these optical heart rate sensors on the wrist will fail. So they have to connect to Bluetooth chest straps. So let's get into the sports. So that's just, the Galaxy Watch 3. I think there might be some sort of bug or trick you can do to connect to a Bluetooth chest strap, but it doesn't have workout analysis. Apple Watch doesn't have workout analysis as far as how much real exertion, not just where was your heart rate, because that's an arbitrary number. I don't know. Is my heart rate good at 160? Is it good at 120? If it's good at 120 for 45 minutes, or is it good at 160 for 3 minutes? I don't know. Maybe there's some sort of breakdown of that. And then obviously for those of us doing CrossFit training, you want load tracking and recovery time in between workouts with hard exertion. So let's break into the sports watch industry and talk about their watches. You have the Suunto 7. Such a great idea. It's got a full smartwatch backbone in Wear OS. Now there's opinions about Wear OS, but it's a full smartwatch backbone. So what does Suunto do? They thought, how can we really reveal or offer something awesome and then make it not awesome at all? Well, they used to contract with First Beat, and they do still for the Baro 9 and the 5 and the 3, or some of those different lines will have First Beat analytics for recovery time, for epoch. They have different labels for the training effect and the exercise post-oxygen consumption from a workout, evaluation of workouts. They have recovery time built in there from First Beat. On the Baro 9, or the 9, I should say, recovery time. They have resources on the 9, which calculates your stress over time and how it depletes your body over the course of the day. They didn't include any of those things in the 7. So you have what's supposed to be a sports watch company tying in with a true smartwatch OS and taking out all the exercise components. And then on top of it all, they didn't have a Bluetooth chest strap connectivity, and their heart rate sensor turned out to be a bust, a fail, not as good as basically any of the basics on the market today. So major problem. I mean, it was the only one of its kind that has sort of a rugged sports watch look to it, except they just left off all the sports watch components. So that's terrible, and that's a problem. Polar. So Polar, I have had a hard time with Polar's brightness, and, the Vantage series, the Grid series, I feel like they need to have controls over the backlight for the love. But they came out with the Ignite. The Ignite is sort of an AMOLED type screen. So it's bright, it's brilliant, but there's no always on display. Back to the Suunto 7. I think you still only get 1.5 to 2 days of battery life. I just think, why are we talking about this? Why did you make this? If you took out, anyway. So back to the Polar Ignite. It'll get 3 to 4 days of battery life. Maybe you can get 4 to 5. There's no always on though. And then there's a problem with the processor, because the lag time when you turn your wrist for the screen to come on is like 2 seconds, which is an eternity in real world, real life. And then Polar just has a relatively more simple platform. They have great, sleep tracking. They have great load tracking. Now, the Ignite had the load tracking. You could get your cardio score in the workout, and they didn't have the recovery time, so that was a missing aspect. But at Ignite, you could get load tracking, your score for that workout, and an evaluation of your exertion level for that workout. You can see a beautiful chart of your load over time, and you get good sleep analytics. The Unite took out the load tracking, so that's sort of off the list. There's no workout analytics, really. You just get the same heart rate graph, which doesn't help. But you can connect to a chest strap. You know, Polar is fundamentally designed to connect to a chest strap and everything that they do. So you can connect to a chest strap and get accurate chest strap. There you get accurate workout analysis. Therefore, you get accurate load analysis. Fantastic. Great. But it's in this little tiny watch that's very slender and sort of just tiny. And the backlight doesn't come on very often. The notifications don't work consistently, and they don't automatically appear on the watch. So the AMOLED becomes more frustrating than useful because transflective screens are almost always on. So what happened? Then we had Garmin. Garmin came out with the Garmin Venu. Perfect design in some ways. I mean, at least more rugged. It was solid. It had a weighty feel to it. It's more of a metal bezel and I think somewhat of a metal back. More rugged sort of, ridges on the edge. Solid system. Garmin made it a solid system where it was their ecosystem. Everything worked the way it should. Polar just felt glitchy. So it's beautiful screen. Always on display. And they started to evolve that and develop it to where other, Garmin Connect riders could make always on displays that had this dim version versus a bright version. Fantastic. And it got 3 to 4 days of battery life, or roughly therein. It had body battery, so it was tracking your recovery over a period of time. But they cut out the workout analytics. They cut out training effect, anaerobic, training load, recovery time between each workout. So it's like, why? Why do you do this? This watch would have been an everyday, all day. Compare everything to this watch because you can connect to Bluetooth. You can connect to Bluetooth and ANT+. The most expansive to connect to other things, so you get accurate heart rate readings, which give you the better workout, the better load, all of those things. But they took out workout analytics. So my problem with the sports training industry is, will someone please make a device that has a high quality screen, a minimum three battery life day with always on and 1 second interval heart rate tracking, connectivity to a heart rate chest strap, workout and training analysis combined. One of the things, so I'm just starting this, and I'm going to do this in a separate initial review. So this watch is the Honor Magic 2, and it is brilliant and great. One of the craziest things about this is that they use first beat analytics. So first beat analytics will write the training effect, VO2 max evaluation, recovery time in between workouts, and training load over time. Fundamental things for CrossFit training and for anybody just wanting to track their fitness and their fitness growth. So this cost me $125. And on Amazon, there's different offers. Some people are selling it for $175. I didn't know what would work, and I don't know how it works. And I still kind of wonder if China's listening when I use the watch. But either way, it's $125. So far, it's a little bit glitchy. I'm going to go into a review, initial thoughts on it, but it's AMOLED. It has full tracking. The only thing they didn't do is connect it to a Bluetooth chest strap. You can't connect it to a Bluetooth chest strap for accurate heart rate analysis, which flows through and affects everything else. So we'll evaluate that, but at least you have an AMOLED 4-day battery life that will give you thorough analytical workout analysis, training effect, training load, recovery time. So we'll see about that. $125 to beat in the competition of everybody that I've been testing and all the major sports manufacturers that are out there. So we look at the cost: Venu $300, $350, Ignite $220, Suunto 7 like $500, and lacks all those things. I think it's just crazy. I just think add the sports tracking, connect it to a Bluetooth chest strap, and it's worth $500 because it's got a real smartwatch built into it. The Samsung Galaxy Watch 3, the Active 2, the Apple Watch 4 and 5. I mean, there's so much that could be done, but they're all, basically $300 to $600. And then we have these other Amazfit, the T-Rex, $119. Doesn't have the workout analysis, but it does have a beautiful screen. The Huawei GT2e, the Huawei GT Pro, and now the Honor GS Pro, which is what I'm going to get and probably just stick with that as sort of a sideline watch because it has the sports tracking and it's just more durable, has a longer battery life. But they all have longer battery lives. I just think they it creates a dilemma because I love Garmin. I love their ecosystem. I love their platform as far as how they've sort of, they're stable, they're clear, it all works. Everything sort of seems to go well there, except when it doesn't. But I was thinking, well, maybe I'll wear the Venu throughout the day, and maybe I'll get a 245 for load tracking and heart rate for real tracking in a workout. Now that's $350 plus $350. Well, maybe I'll get a 235 because they have training effect and they have recovery time and training load, but they don't do anaerobic and versus aerobic. So no, that's still a little expensive. Maybe I'll do the Ignite off Polar and wear the Garmin Venu all day and just have the great experience of a great watch and it's tracking body, battery, and it's doing sleep. But no, that's still too expensive. Will somebody please if anybody has a contact at Garmin, please forward this video to them. I want Garmin to make a watch that has all these things. They already have it in the Venu. Just stick in a bigger battery and add call it the Garmin, the Forerunner, Venu Forerunner, the Forerunner U. Please just make that watch. I keep hoping they'll do it. So please forward this on to them if you have somebody connected. But I just want a rugged design, 3 to 4 days of battery life. I definitely think a rugged design because it seems like the more dainty designs are built into the AMOLED system. The the Samsung Active 2, just very dainty. The Apple Watch, I don't like the square design. It's still sort of dainty because it's just rounded edges. You're going to bang that against a barbell or a rack and it's just going to smash. The Polar Ignite, same thing. Suunto 7 was great, but doesn't count as a sports watch. Garmin Venu is better because it's got rigid edges. Again, has to connect to Bluetooth chest strap. And again, every sports watch in the world should connect to a Bluetooth or ANT Plus chest strap because it just fundamentally, running makes up like 1/10 of what people are doing for exercise these days, or maybe it's less than that. I don't know. With workout training analytics. So that's my rant. That's it. I just had to share it. I just had to get it out there because in testing all these different watches and then seeing these $120 watches that are kind of doing it, even though they have sort of quirky systems and maybe certain things aren't going to work on the device or on the app and the operating system in the US. I don't know. But just seeing that it's capable, why can't some of the primary sports watch manufacturers make a all-in-one for today's user? That's it. CF tracking. Thanks so much for listening.